Rocky Mountain Giants. Let's step into the on deck circle.
You're listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar App, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to On Deck right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it's Casey Bubba, and it's you, and we're talking all things MLB DFS right here, courtesy of the LineStar app. So go get that LineStar app and start using it right now. Download the app, upgrade to the premium product, and you can get started winning some cash too. And Bubba, some crazy things last night. You had Ozuna getting 3 bombs. And your San Francisco Giants put up enough runs for an entire week of my New York Mets. Maybe an entire month. It's possible. But anyway, how do you feel after that onslaught? 23-5. Yikes.
It was awesome. I told you before the show, I wish I would have seen a live reaction of Chris Woodward watching that game. That would have been awesome. But it was really cool. Dickerson with 3 homers. And in his last at-bat with a position player pitch, he hit one 414 feet off the wall. It would have been a home run in 29 other ballparks. He almost had 4 home runs last night. It was crazy. And last thing I'll say on this one, the Giants have been so bad off. Well, they've been good offensively, but they've been giving up so many runs. Even by winning like 23-4 last night, their run differential is like -1 still on the season.
Wow. Craziness. Oh, what a game it was. Let's fly around to, we'll start backwards since that was in the late games. Julio Urias goes to 3-0. Good game for him. 6 innings, 4-hit ball. The Diamondbacks are done. They're going to be my new favorite whipping boy here on the program. They've traded everybody pretty much. So any night that Zach Gallen is not starting, I'm going to be trolling the Diamondbacks. And spoiler alert, it's going to happen today too, just so you know. This is where we're at. We had the Twins beating the White Sox 3-2. Byron Buxton returned with a bang. And so did Michael Pineda, I guess you could say as well. So look at Michael Pineda pitching again in the major leagues. What a crazy 2020 we have. The Rangers beating up the Astros 6-5 now. Look, this was down to the 10th. My boy Framber was still good. 7 good innings from him. Framber's been awesome. Do not hang this on Framber Valdez. Framber is still the color of my energy here on the program. Zach Pleisak got the W, which we talked about at length. He was a good tournament play. Yesterday, if you played him, you got the W. So no surprise there. 6 strong innings from him. 10-1 over the Royals and Matt Harvey, which, I mean, Matt Harvey. Anyway, by the way, his ERA, and I don't know if you looked at it. You want to take a guess what his ERA is?
I'm going to guess it's like 9.
Higher, Bob.
14.
Higher, Bob.
26.
Not quite 26. 1543 from Matt Harvey.
That's very, very bad. Not
that
great,
is
Bob.
High. That is very high. It's almost as many runs as the Giants scored yesterday. I'll tell you, it's higher than even the Tigers scored 12 runs yesterday against the Brewers. Bad start from Lindblom. His ERA goes to 6. So Victor Reyes had 4 hits in this one. He was the stud right here. The Tigers, I love that the Tigers are a game above 500. Talk about a roster you just look at and you roll your eyes. But man, this is the classic anything can happen in baseball story. And of course, the Orioles beat up on the Mets. So we did get the runs in that one. We got 14 runs in that game. Nunez had 2 home runs. So we were very much into the Mets Orioles. That was good. So Anthony Santander also had home run that one. So at least we were right there. But really, you had to have the Giants and you had to have Ozuna last night. Some combination. Ian Anderson goes to 2-0, by the way, 2.25 ERA for him on the year as the Red Sox drop another one. Dude, the Red Sox are now 12-24. Bubba, oy. It's not going to get better anytime soon.
No time soon. Like when we talk about who's pitching today, he's a 32-year-old journeyman that hasn't pitched in the big since 2013. So that just tells you where things are going. And their Twitter account's horrible. Like if I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm furious what they did yesterday. But you guys can go look at that. That was bad.
Oh, wait, I didn't even know. What did they do yesterday? I missed this.
They basically used a picture of the reset button and they hit it, basically saying that they're resetting their everything right now.
Well,
like,
I mean,
because they're under the luxury tax. They're all proud of that. Why they're getting spanked all over the place.
Well, you know what? Look, you have some equity with the fans. You've won a couple championships. This fan base has won a lot in the last 20 years. So, look, this happens to teams sometimes, but better for it to happen in a 60-game season than a 160.
Well, yeah, but in the grand scheme of, they're proud of being under the luxury tax when their fan base is furious they did not re-sign Mookie Betts.
Well, that's gonna be a sticking point. No, when you don't sign Mookie Betts, he's such a popular player, and the hard part is well, this is what I said when the Martinez money came out. I said, "Oh man, I know JD's great and all, but do you really want to put yourself in this bad spot in 2 years with Mookie Betts?" And sure enough, here we were 2 years later, and there it was. So there you have it. Ian Happ, not J Happ, wrong Happ here. Gave a good outing here against the Pirates here. Happ spoils Hayes' debut. And the Cubs lead the Pirates 8-7. Ian Happ finished what he started, basically. Singling home Nico Horner in the top of the 11th. So 8-7 over the Pirates. Pirates drop another one. They're down to 10-23 now. The Phillies blanked the Nationals. Aaron Nola has been strong, man. 2-hit ball over 8 innings for him. Outside of what one bad start, Nola's been absolutely dominant. And this is what we kind of talked about with this game. Corbin's a good pitcher, but Nola's been excellent. Bubba was more apt to go with Nola and get in on this game than I was, and I was definitely wrong there. So good job by Bubba leading you to victory. You also had Masahiro Tanaka get the W, 5-3 Yankees over the Rays. So Yankees still fighting here. Don't worry, Yankee fans, you're going to be in the playoffs. It's going to be fine. And then you had the Marlins 3-2 over the Blue Jays. Yamaguchi took the loss in this one, Hoyt with the win, and Sonny Gray took a rare loss, got pounded by the Cardinals yesterday, and boy, am I glad we faded the all-day slate, and Sonny Gray. We talked about Framber being a much better investment for the same price, and not having to add in 2 more games and more variables between the Marlins and Blue Jays and the Cardinals and Reds, and if you did that, you listened, you avoided Sonny Gray, and that was good for business. Poor Sonny Gray, bad, we'll shake this one off. And then just kind of come back and hopefully everything is fine. But a rare bad outing for Sonny Gray there, Bubba.
Yeah, only went 2/3 of an inning, like really, really rough stuff. People were wondering if he was hurt, tipping pitches, because just watching the little bit I watched, it just didn't look pretty. It was rough. But on the grand scheme of things, you can knock this up to every pitcher has a bad start from time to time. People were tweeting out that over the last calendar year, even with this bad start, his ERA is 3.1.
That's pretty good last time I checked, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Yeah, things happen. It looks like more of a tipping pitching kind of thing where guys are, somebody found something out, so somebody needs to go check some tape right away. This afternoon, let's turn the page here because it's a new day. Yes, it is. And we've got Kyle Freeland and Logan Webb. We'll see if the Giants have any more runs left in them against
God.
The Rockies. And then we have Michael Wacha and John Means. Those are the 2 day games today, but we're going to jump right ahead to the all-day slate. John Oviedo against Tyler Mahle. That's our first one at 640 if you want to get involved in this one. Now, the Cardinals lineup was pretty hot yesterday. Goldschmidt's still just 3.4 on FanDuel. You get some discounts here as you go to the bottom of the order. Guys like Carpenter at 2.6, Carlson at 2.1. Wong and Edman also cheap, 2.5 and 2.6 respectively on FanDuel. So would you go back into the Cardinal well again today off of what you saw yesterday, or would you switch gears and go back to the Reds because Jesse Winker's just 2.9, or maybe you're just letting go of this slate altogether here on the all day again?
Yeah, for the most part, I don't want to go back to the Cardinals. Well, Molly's been decent enough, but then again, we said about Gray, so I guess anything's possible in Great American Small Park. Where I would look, if you want a piece of this, I prefer just the full slate, but Winker's cheap, Votto's cheap, and Moustakas is 25 or 26 on FanDuel. Those would be the ways I'd be going. A cheap Tommy Edman for St. Louis as well if you want a value play for the Cards.
Your other 6 game is the Hyunjin Ryu and the Blue Jays against Sixto Sanchez. Now, Ryu's pitched much better lately. We've used him a bunch on the show. Even before it was cool to do it, we were doing it. But Sixto Sanchez also has looked good. He's 8.7. Are you using the all-day slate to get either one of these pitchers, or are you making sure you avoid it to make sure that you don't add more variables? Because I feel like there's some variable here. And as much as I'd like to get involved in some of those Reds bats, it's these 2 pitchers that really are bothersome on a slate, especially in tournaments that are a little wacky tonight. I'm going to let this one go along with the Reds game, even though I'm so tempted because Winker's so cheap and I'd love to get that bat in the lineup. Teoscar's been good. VR is now over there with the Blue Jays too. There's a lot to like there, but I don't know, man. Sixto's pretty good. Ryu's pretty good. This one kind of worries me, and I think I'm going to basically hit the pause button here at the 640 spot. What about you?
Yeah, I'll pass. I'm really bummed that this isn't on the main slate because I'd like a cheap Sixto on DraftKings because they'd screw that price up for sure. But on FanDuel at 87, it's just not worth the gamble in this matchup. So I'll go to the main slate where there's lots of bats to target, very few good pitching options.
All right, well, let's start with that. Let's start things off with a bang. Max Scherzer, 10.4 on DK versus Zach Wheeler at 9.5. The FanDuel pricing for these guys, 11.2 for Scherzer. Zach Wheeler, 9.1. Scherzer's had some big strikeout performances, but he hasn't been, as completely dominant as in years past, where it's just every day you know exactly what you're getting. He's just going to wear everybody out. So I guess here's the question. Single pitcher site, 11.2. Are you interested in Scherzer tonight, or are you more interested in taking a shot against him with Wheeler at 9.1?
I'm pretty much not interested in either pitcher here. If I had to pick
Fair.
one of the two, I'd pick Wheeler at the price point.
I agree.
Scherzer I like. I could see him as an option on DK at 10.4 because he'll probably come in lower owned with some of the other options there. But 11.2 on single pitcher, I'll pass because it's everything you said. Is the ceiling the highest out of anybody? Yes. But at the same time, it's been such a roller coaster ride with him between injuries and just productivity that it's hard to pay that price point.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, man. And in this game, outside of Juan Soto at 4.7, who's super expensive, but always worth it because he's Juan Soto. He's 5.7 on DK. That's a tough price there. But I think Wheeler has some appeal if you're just looking in a multi-entry to be a little different tonight. I can see that because Wheeler's going to be low owned. And the Nats are last place team. To be honest, despite even Scherzer being on the mound, don't lose sight of that. So I would look at Wheeler tonight as an oppo play, but that's it. It's not a single entry tournament play either. Let's jump ahead to the Cubs versus the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Kyle Hendricks at 8.3 over on FanDuel against Musgrove at 6.7. Hendricks basically the same. He's 8.7 over on DK. Now, this is another guy, when you look at the splits, Bubba, it's a different tale. The home road starts of Hendricks in the last year or so been pretty obvious. And I feel like there are a lot of people will go automatically to this game because of, they see the Cubs versus the Pirates. That's not wrong. But this is a little bit of a trap here because you notice the price on Hendricks is pretty cheap. And I feel like that's the red flag there because they know that the road games are not as good as the home games.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to stay off of Hendricks. It's, some splits are kind of wonky, but this one's been pretty clear and cut and dry for Kyle Hendricks throughout time. So could he shut down the Pirates? Sure. We know the Pirates are horrific versus right-handed pitching, but we saw him put up 7 runs last night. These young kids have nothing to lose, so they're starting to play a little better. I'd rather focus on bats in this game. You got Musgrove coming back from injury. You got Ian Happ and Kyle Schwarber just crushing the baseball. They're 3,100 respectively on FanDuel. They're 41 and 4K on DraftKings. That's where I want to start my builds. And even if you don't want a full stack, both those guys, if I had to pick one, I'll take Happ by himself. But I like both those guys a ton tonight.
What about Brian Hayes as a free square on the other side here of the Pirates?
Yeah, that's definitely an option. He's very cheap on DraftKings.
Just 2K on FanDuel.
Yep.
I mean, on DK, sorry. He's probably going to be about the same on FanDuel, actually.
I doubt he's even on FanDuel. That's why I have to check because it takes him like 3 days to get prospects.
Yeah, he probably isn't. But he's on DK too. That's so dumb.
Yeah, I don't mind him.
Why isn't he in the system already? Like, come on. I mean,
FanDuel's lazy. That's all it is.
Come on, guys. Get it together. I don't understand.
Yeah, but I'm with you.
All right. Yeah. So look for a couple pieces to cherry pick here. Schwarber's cheap at 3.1 still, even though he's been pretty good the last week or so. Happ at 3.1 also at the top of this order. I think I would go with I would cherry pick a couple bats out of here, especially on DK if you can get Hayes at 2K there, which is, again, free square, young kid, makes good contact. I don't expect a lot, but can you return 2K? Yeah, I think you can do that. I think there are potential areas for that as well. Charlie Morton, 7.8 on FanDuel against Jordan Montgomery, 7.1. It's pretty even right here because, I don't think we're exactly sure what we're going to get out of either of these two. Morton's 8.5 on DK, Montgomery 7.5. So take me through the thought process. What's your approach in this game if you have one?
I'm playing the bats. I love Charlie Morton, but he's probably on a pitch count, coming back from a shoulder injury. Just not going to play that game. Montgomery's been getting hit hard by righties, so I kind of like going back to this Rays well that just has the Yankees number. I know the Yankees won yesterday, but there's a lot to like there. You could obviously go with Voit and LeMahieu from New York, but when it comes to the Rays, I'm attacking and I'm starting with guys like Willie Adames, who's in the middle of that order. He's 27 on FanDuel. He's 39 on DK. He's hitting well over, like close to 400 over his last 7 to 10 games. Homered in 2 of his last 3. And it's his birthday today, if you believe in narrative.
Hey, so happy birthday, Willie.
There's that thing. Yeah, so I like Willie Adames a lot
tonight. As a cleanup hitter, how often does that? When do you ever see that happen?
Yeah. I'm not saying you have to full stack this game, but Adames is very, very worth it.
Well, I mean, another guy just makes sense. You're going to need it because there is a pitcher later on that I think we both probably like in this on this slate here that we're going to have to pay a little bit more for. At least I like. We'll see if Bubba is with me. I'm in on this tonight. But yeah, Dom's at 2.4 just makes complete sense. LeMahieu's at 3.4 on the other side of this one. Aaron Hicks at 2.8. Clint Frazier in the cleanup spot. How often do you get two guys hitting cleanup in a game under 3K? Almost never. I mean, that's not as in the same game. Whoop, what craziness. Let's go over. Yeah, it's different. Robbie Erlin and the Braves are going to take on Mike Kickman. Or kick him. Mike Kickham.
This is your journeyman I mentioned.
This is your journeyman. This is your guy, Mike Kickham. Kick him if you got him.
We're going to kick him while he's down. We're going to kick him while he's down.
Yeah, I think we are. Well, here's the hard part, though. But Freeman doesn't have good numbers against lefties.
He's not going to be in for long.
Well, okay, good
Boston
point.
bullpen.
Well, I'll tell you what. My mind immediately goes, back to Ozuna at 3.4, Austin Riley at 2.5. I think those are just, you got to keep rolling Austin Riley out there. He's 3.6. Ozuna is 4.3 on DK. So you go for that. And if you want to go get some righties, you want JD and Bogarts, it's not terrible on FanDuel. DK, forget it. At 5K, I'm not paying for it. But at 3.2 and 3.7, it's possible. Anything else to add on this one? Because like I said, I know what you're saying, but still, like, they're not a great lineup against lefties. The Braves, even if it is this guy.
Yeah, I get it. Riley and Ozuna are the main two plays. Riley's just too cheap, period. Like, he's a cash play every day until they figure that out. Markakis actually hits lefties well, and he's affordable on both sides. So I don't hate that if you don't want to go all in.
Is Spencer Turnbull in play tonight, 8.1 against a struggling Brewers team and Adrian Hauser?
He is a GPP play for me. Like, we've seen that majority of his starts, he's been very good, except when he's been hurt or faced the White Sox. So I have no problem doing that against a Brewers team that strikes out a ton versus righties. That Yellick's kind of heating up, but outside of that, doesn't have a lot besides maybe Ben Gamel leading off. So yeah, nothing really scares you. In a GPP, I can go to Turnbull.
Yeah, and Scope is just 3.1 in this game too. Just want to point that out. That's another guy they haven't really corrected the salary on FanDuel yet. Turnbull is 8.7 on DK. I love him as a secondary arm tonight. I think he's terrific play.
Definitely. And then one other value, Victor Reyes is 2,300 on FanDuel. He's 31 on DK. He's been on fire. Yeah,
again, top of the order. I mean, these guys, we just mentioned a bunch of guys hitting cleanup and a bunch of guys at the top of the order who are dirt cheap. It's just crazy. It's just weird, and it's a little loose. Go take advantage of it. Are you willing to take advantage of Tristan Mckenzie and his price on DK? He is 6.7K against the Royals. It's a good matchup. He's 8K on FanDuel. I'm a big fan of Mckenzie personally, so I'm okay with this. I actually think even on FanDuel tonight, you can make some money with him. Are you as tempted as I am, or are you having a little bit more discipline and not getting as excited about the young kid as I am?
No, I love him. I just want to be – I have no problem using him. People just need to be cautious. We've seen the good and the bad better on situations.
DK. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's much better on DK.
It's better to use him as the secondary pitcher because 6.7 allows you to go get any bat you want, basically.
Pretty much. Like, you can match him up with one of the big dogs and be fine. And you just got to remember, he threw 84 pitches. Hopefully we get 90. He's one of those young arms that sometimes they go for the strikeout and it adds the pitch count, so it might not go as deep. But it's the Royals. He's worth it on DK.
Yeah, I'm in agreement on that one. Also, again, big variance here. The lineup is expensive for the Indians on DK, but on FanDuel, Lindor is still just 3.3. I don't know why he's always so cheap every day. I know he hasn't been a monster this year, but he's still Francisco Lindor at 3.3. That's still a really good value for a very good player. What are your thoughts on Barrios at 8.8 on FanDuel against Ronaldo Lopez and the White Sox? You fade away from that because it's the White Sox, I assume?
No, he's at home. We've mentioned home road splits with Hendricks. Barrios has very similar ones. I prefer him more as an SP2 potentially on DraftKings at his price point, but at 88 in a maybe multi-entry tournament play, I have no problem with Barrios.
All right, so Barrios at 7.9 on DK or Tristan Mckenzie at 6.7. Which way would you go? Would you pay up a little extra for Barrios?
I'd go Mckenzie, but
me too. See, that's the thing. I would against the White Sox. That still scares the hell out of me. Like, I would still rather take the kid than try to throw out a better, more established major league pitcher against the White Sox. The White Sox are terrifying, and they've earned that label.
Yeah. I just want to say Barrios, though, if you want to play ownership leverage, will be much lower owned than Mckenzie.
That's fair. What about going against the grain a little bit too and staying with the White Sox bats despite Barrios's good home numbers?
I'm never going to argue someone playing the White Sox bats. They're so good right now. Like, they're too good. So they're not as safe.
Well, because they've come down tonight
in most games. Yes.
Because all of a sudden Abreu's gone from 4 to 3.6. Anderson's going from 4 to 3.6. Moncada's down to 3.4. Jimenez is at 3.7. Encarnacion says at 3.8. Robert stayed flat 3-6, but Abreu, Anderson, Makata have all come down in price because of this matchup tonight. And I don't know if that's necessarily I think that's actually worked the temptation a little bit. All of a sudden they kind of sneakily lowered it, and you might not notice it, but I think it's something to investigate and possibly make some money on tonight. I think that's worth taking a look at if you could work them in.
Potentially. Yeah, I'm not all in on him yet, but I see your argument for sure.
All right, good night last night for Michael Brantley. Let's see if he can continue that. He's just 2.9 on FanDuel still. It's Christian Javier against Colby Allard. I don't have much love for the pitching tonight in this one, but I will go back to those bats of the Astros. I just feel more comfortable with them. Carlos Correa at 3K, Gurriel 2.9, Brantley 2.9, some great value there. Bubba, anything else to add on this one on the DK side or in general?
No, I'll keep paying for Kyle Tucker if he's 4,400 on DraftKings. I know he struggled a bit last night, but he's just too good in the middle of that order.
All right, let's move on to the Dodger game tonight where Walker Buehler is at 10.3K, and he's going to be taking on Zach Gallen. And you know what? I don't care. Zach Gallen's great. He's terrific. But you know what? The Diamondbacks are bad. Zach Gallen has one win, despite how good he has been. I think Walker Buehler can still go out there and get the W tonight at home. That's my take. I'm sticking with it. Bubba, am I crazy here, or is Zach Gallen the guy in play for you?
I like Zach Gallen a lot in tournaments because I don't think anybody's going to own him facing the Dodgers and Walker Buehler. So I'm a big fan of Zach Gallen. The question I have about Buehler is we saw him get pretty close to stretched out in his last 2 starts ago. Then he leaves with a blister, only threw a 40-pitch bullpen over the weekend. How deep does he go tonight? That is my question. If he's full go, great play. Phenomenal play. Probably the best play on the slate.
He's going 6 strong. I'm calling it now. 6 strong against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, if we keep hearing info throughout the day that things are ready to roll, then yes, best play of the night. I'm not going to argue that at all.
John Jay is leading off for the Diamondbacks today. That guy's still
and
in
Joe
the lead.
Pisapia is batting second.
Hey, let's tell you something. I can still hit the 2-hole. I'll be fine. I can still swing the bat. Curveball bats are afraid. Fastball can still hit it.
Okay, Pedro Serrano, you got it.
This is true. I went into one of those batting cages in the down by the shore. I think it was two summers ago. And we cranked that bad boy up. It was like the 85 to 91. I went into the fast pitch one, and my kid's like, "What are you doing? It's scary." I was like, "That's fine. Don't worry about it." It still hit him. I was like, "All right, I'm driving the ball pretty good here. Not bad." It's when the breaking balls came that I was like, maybe this isn't for me anymore.
I don't need the 12 to 6ers.
I don't need the 12. I remember. I'll never forget that first time high school baseball. There was a guy who was on the mound, was throwing hard, and then he dropped like an 82 mile an hour curveball on me, and my knees buckled, and I went, okay.
Yep. I think it's time to find a microphone, folks.
This is it. Let me try another path of work here. Maybe there's something better for me. That was embarrassing. I don't want that to happen feeling. Again. I thought it was going to hit me in the head, and then it was a strike.
Yeah. Oops.
Yo, oops. But you live and you learn. I'm going to be stubborn tonight and go with Walker Buehler. We'll see how that works out for me. Clearly, Bubba is right, though. I am probably wrong. So you choose your color. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll come back on this. I don't have nearly the confidence that I had like
Framber and Coors.
Framber in Colorado. That worked out. But you know what? I'm pretty confident in this one, too. Again.
There we go.
I think a lot of people will see Walker Buehler and Gallen, and I'm going to go the other end of this. And they're going to say, oh, Gallen's really good. Walker Buehler's just coming back. Oh, it scares me. I think it's going to be low, and if he goes 6 innings and gets the W with a quality start, man, it's going to be solid for Buehler.
Yeah, not arguing that at all.
I
just want to know.
I can't get there with Scherzer today. I want to. It's just very frustrating. Last year, I
don't disagree with any of that.
And look, maybe this is even better, but this is another guy can't get out of the 5th inning. Is Dinelson Lumet? The strikeouts are there. He's going against the Angels. That's not always the easiest night if Trout is on. But still, it's the Padres have been excellent. Who am I to say no? I just worry about 5-inning pitchers who are at 9.3 as a single pitcher site on DK. I don't know if you feel any differently. He's 9.9. So if I'm going to go all the way there, I might as well take Walker Buehler. That's my mindset. What are your thoughts on San Diego versus Los Angeles?
Yeah, Lumet's a very strong GPP play. Like you mentioned, there's concerns of him not going deep enough, but if he's locked in, you got to worry about Mike Trout, and everybody else has been pretty ice cold in that lineup. Marco Gonzalez just threw a complete game against them 2 days ago and struck out 9. So that pretty much tells you where they're at right now. Yeah, so good
Cronenworth is 3.8, by the way, on DK, and Will Myers is 3.6. Both those guys are swinging a bat pretty good right now. I don't know what that's all about. And on FanDuel, Myers is 3.4, Cronenworth's 3.2. So they continue to be some pretty good, lineup additions there. Some good high floor, high ceiling kind of guys. And then it's kind of funny because if you do go all the way down to McKenzie, there's no reason you can't get into Fernando Tatis Jr. 5'2", or, dare I say Soto at 5'7", or some other big time bats tonight, potentially. So just keep that in mind. All right. It's that time again, boys and girls. It's time to call our shot. Bubba and I are each going to give you a guy to leave the yard. And if you follow us over at LineStar App on Twitter, you can get involved in the contest. Give us your pick to go yard. And if you're right, you go win some free swag. Everybody likes free stuff, like free hats. I don't know. Maybe you got a free a beer cozy. I don't know. I'm just making up things now. I don't know what it is, but some free stuff. T-shirts, maybe one of those hats that's got like, the two things where the soda cans can go on either side. Remember those in the 80s? Those were awesome. Maybe
soda
win
cans,
that.
yep.
I'm not one to say. I don't know. You're going to win something. That's all I know. So, Bubba, where are you going tonight for your home run? Give us the name. Who's leaving the yard?
I'm usually a day late or a day early, so hopefully I'm not a day late on this one. But you said he's too cheap on FanDuel, and I agree. Give me Francisco Lindor taking Jacob Junis deep.
I like it. All right, I'm going to go with Austin Riley in Fenway Park against Mike Kickham. I think he's going to kick him exactly where you think he is, and I think Austin Riley is going to go yard today in Fenway, so let's check that out. So those are our two picks. And again, go follow us at LineStar MLB and LineStar App, and you can get involved in the contest too. I also want to remind everybody, we just recorded them. They'll probably drop soon. The new NFL show is back yet again. So a new season will return. Scott Bogman and myself doing the pre-snap show. It's the same version of this show, but it's NFL. We'll be doing 3 shows a week. So on Tuesday, you're going to get our show recapping the weekend that was in football and looking ahead in DFS. Then we're going to do our Thursday preview show and our Friday wagering show. So check that out. You're going to want to get involved in that. So go find the pre-snap wherever you listen to your podcast, iHeart, iTunes. Go subscribe, click the notifications because football's around the corner. A Bogman about as good as it gets. I'm very excited for those of you who listen to the Black Book. You already know Bogman and myself for many, many years. So that's going to be awesome. I'm telling you, the previews were terrific. Great shows. Got to get you hyped up, ready to go with some of our approaches heading into the season. So check that out. Go subscribe right now. And in the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at KCBubba, at Joe Pisapia 17. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. There's nothing left to do now except step out of the on-deck circle and into the batter's box and go yard. We'll see you next time, kids.
You've been listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.